Reporting live from Hypers Club, Fright Plus News, I'm Janaba.
You people hang your hat on the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about Watermelon Felon? How's that one strike you? I hope he enjoyed his first night in that cell last night. Because he's going to have many nights to think about what the he did.
This week, all eyes have been on the Karmelo Anthony trial, when it was announced that the 19-year-old will be found guilty of murder and sentenced to 35 years in prison. Now, if you don't know about the case, Karmelo was at a track meet in his hometown last year when he was approached by fellow students, one being Austin Metcalf, and was told that he had to leave from under a tent. Now, according to reports, things would get physical after Metcalf would first push Karmelo during their argument, in which Karmelo will respond by stabbing Metcalf after warning him to not touch him. Now, as more continue to debate the case, parents of both teenagers are now speaking out. In a new interview conducted on Wednesday, Jeff Metcalf, Austin's father, would speak with outlet Jinx Reality for a nearly 3-hour conversation about the case. Now, despite the interview appearing to give a grieving father his chance to speak, now has looked to have backfired as clips of Metcalf making racist remarks are starting to spread from his interview. At one point, Metcalf would even refer Karmelo Anthony as a watermelon felon, in his way of showing that he too can go viral.
He's the only one in your family without a damn record. I guess that's something to brag about in your culture. You people hang your hat on the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Let me make one up. Y'all can let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about Watermelon Felon? How's that one strike you? I hope he enjoyed his first night in that cell last night. Because he's going to have many nights to think about what the he did.
Now, D.O. Hughley, who has been keeping an eye on the case, would catch wind of the moment and would fire back at Metcalf for several offensive things he would say during this interview. Over on Instagram, while sharing part of Metcalf's racially driven moments, Hughley would go on to say, Number 1, no parent should ever have to bury their child. Number 2, your loss isn't a free pass to spew racist tropes, spread false racist stereotypes about black fathers, or make generalizations about you people. Now, as mentioned, this interview is nearly 3 hours long and also shows Metcalf pretty much dissing everyone involved with the case. Now, despite him opening up about how he's dealing with the loss of his son, people can't help but point out his behavior during the interview. And for some, it's starting to have them question if Austin was like his father, for those that didn't know him.
Now, to Austin Metcalf daddy, I see where he get it from. Huh? Listen, watermelon felon and all. I see where he get it from. All of the stuff that you said in this video and how you actually felt throughout this trial, that shows exactly who you are. I don't care what nobody say. You try to act like it's not about race, but it was. The entire time. And for everybody who even looked like me trying to say, oh, right is right, wrong is wrong. It wasn't right what happened to Austin Metcalf. Y'all goofy.
And at first, I was like, okay, this is a grieving father. Let me share some of the clips that came from this live stream.
Y'all can let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about Watermelon Felon? How's that one strike you?
And I've got more clips coming, but for any of you that are gonna say this is AI, this is fake, this is literally a 3-hour live stream that you can go through and watch. Let me play another clip.
And now you want to talk shit? Oh, I'm being so oppressed. You couldn't even vote 1960. Look how far you've come. Look at all the free shit we give you. You're not oppressed. You're fucking entitled. You know what DEI stands for? Yeah. Means I don't have to be fucking qualified. I just have to be a certain color or race or gender. Whose bright ass idea was that? I don't know about you, but when I grew up, there was no participation trophy. There wasn't a safe space created for me because my feelings were hurt.
Now watching this, I remind myself that Austin was a child, was being raised with somebody that's spewing this kind of mentality.
If a motherfucker kill my son, I ain't doing no interview. I'm a different kind of man than you, what? And I'm taller and my dick bigger. Have a good day, short man.
Keep telling people to watch what comes out of folks' mouth when they mad, because Austin Metcalf's father got angry and suddenly all this ugly stuff started coming out. All these names, all these insults, all this hate. And what stood out to me wasn't even the anger. It was the fact that some people seem offended that Karmelo Anthony is still alive. Some of y'all wanted this story to end with 2 dead kids instead of 1. Some of y'all don't want accountability. Y'all want revenge. And those are 2 different things. The truth is, no amount of interviews, social media posts, name calling, or public outrage is going to change what happened.
So as you guys can see, a lot of people are bothered by this interview. I'm not sure what the goal of it was. It definitely seems that Jeff is still very much emotional and hurt by it, of losing his son just last year. I think it's pretty much a sign that he probably should not be doing interviews right now, given that he's still, I would imagine, very upset and highly emotional about this incident. As you guys know, doing things in emotion typically don't always get the best results. Sometimes you gotta know when to be on camera, when to not, especially when you're in an emotional state. And I just wonder if people around him are there enough to be like, hey Jeff, this is not the time to do it, until you're ready, until you're fully kind of like healed up, where you can manage those emotions. Because like to DL's point, you know, you can be hurt by something, but it doesn't give you the right to be disrespectful to people, because at that point they're gonna return the disrespect. And I think if you look in the comments, that is happening. He went on to even diss the Anthony family. You know, it's like, what was the purpose of this interview? And is this the result that you wanted? If you look in the comments of clips of the interview, people are saying, see, this is what probably Austin was on. Now, he would go on to state that he's not a racist, but I have to say, saying the term or the phrase watermelon felon is gonna make people question that, right? And so I definitely think, again, back to my point, you know, if he's in this emotional state, this is probably not the time he needs to be on camera. Because again, to DL's point, just because you're hurt doesn't mean that you can just rightfully disrespect people and say things and be offensive. You know, we all understand that you're dealing with a lot, and I definitely think that people empathize with that. But that doesn't mean that you can disrespect me because you're hurt. And that's the point that I believe DL was trying to make. Now, as I stated before in our previous coverage of this, there's no winners here. If you look at it, the Metcalfs lost their son, and the Anthonys would lose their son in a different way. And this would all happen over a seating dispute, right? But if you do want to watch the full interview, we did decide to air it here on Hype Plus to be able to document this moment. Go to our YouTube channel and YouTube page right now. Check it out. Form your own opinion. Let's go ahead and continue the conversation in the comments below. Do you excuse Jeff Metcalf's comments because he's dealing with a lot of hurt right now? Or are you like DL Hughley, where there's no excuse for that? For more news in comedy, culture, and sports, be sure to subscribe here to our YouTube channel and follow Hype Plus across all social media. And if you enjoyed this story, head over to hypersclub.com right now to check out full interviews and more original content. Reporting live from Hypers Club, for Hype Plus News, I'm John Abba.